Good morning. I'm in black. I could say that I'm in black in mourning for peace in Europe, but in fact it's because I can fit into it for the first time in about a year and a half. I did wonder if I shouldn't even go for a ride this morning and make a film in light of the seriousness of events in Ukraine. But then I thought, why should I let the actions of one vainglorious, diminutive fuck affect anything that I do? So instead, where I'm taking you is up what used to be my most favoritist but hardest climb, to the hilltop village of La Figuera, which I confess I've been avoiding for many months now, as towards the end of last year I really piled the kilos on despite all the cycling I was doing. In fact, I might even make a film about that, because here's a spoiler, in 2020 I cycled 10,000 kilometers, but my weight went from 116 kilos up to 128 and a half. So well, that's the whole video really, just saying that cycling by itself won't allow you to lose weight. But we've already started the big climb of the day. I've been going for about a kilometre and a bit, kilometre and a quarter, kilometre and a half, and there's another 14 and a half kilometres to go on this one hill. We've got 592 metres to go. Now we're back at my favourite view because I wanted to run the numbers again. So we've just been up that same hill yet again. That's only used 12% of the battery in the same settings. So I must be getting fitter. Here's the view. So because this is an adventure day and not a training day, I'm actually going to spend a little bit of time in the next village. Not long, don't worry. It's El Molar. Now I've shown you El Molar before because it has the sad recognition for being flattened by the Condor Legion, the German flying corps from just before World War II during the Spanish Civil War. The Germans, though they'd signed the non-intervention pact which kept Britain and France out of the Spanish Civil War, Germany sent the Condor Legion of 20,000 men and all of their fighters and bombers that they wanted to test because they knew they were going to war in a year or two. The Italians sent 80,000 troops and tanks. Britain sent nothing apart from some individuals who wanted to fight fascism. No, I've not been here before either. I've been past. The gates look shut, but I can show you anyway. Yeah. Well, seeing as Russia has invaded Ukraine, I think I'm alright talking about the war. This was converted into a field hospital during one of the many offences during the Spanish Civil War. It was for the Republican troops, the democratically elected government which was toppled by Franco's nationalist forces. But this was used particularly towards the end of the war when the retreat was in full flight. But this area held out for a really essential 8 days after Franco had broken out of the Ebro during that offensive. And these 8 days allowed the Republican troops to get to hospitals such as this, but also to retreat in some form of orderly fashion. And what we're going to be doing today is going around the mountains that slowed Franco's forces up for those essential 8 days. But in 2017, this mine, sorry, this is a mine building, did I tell you that? These are the headquarters of the Lusa mine, which was a lead and silver mine. And during the war, they converted the headquarters buildings into the hospital. But in 2017, they converted it into a museum, which I didn't know. It's shut today, unfortunately, but I've got to read you the description of what they did here. Hold on, here it comes. The proposal tested a new comprehensive model of low-cost didactic museography that wanted to give prominence to emotions. And that was based on static and kinetic iconography generated from historical recreation groups. No, recreation groups. Now, what that actually means is that they show videos of a bunch of enthusiasts dressed up in Civil War costumes depicting bits of the battles. But as a bunch of middle-aged people who really shouldn't be dressing up in lycra, who are we to take the mickey out of other people who like dressing up, eh? And the soldiers that didn't make it from the treatment at the hospital ended up here in Molar cemetery. On to the last 8.63 kilometres of the climb. Not that I'm counting. I don't want to rub it in, truly I don't. But we're suffering a bit of a drought here in Spain. It hasn't rained since, I think it was the 4th of January. But since the 4th, we've had one cloudy day. This is as cloudy as it's been during that time. It's still, I think, 17. I was out of the door this morning and I had to go back and take my my undershirt, my base layer, they call them, don't they? Base layer off, because it was just too warm, and I knew this climb was going to make me glow a little. During the summer last year, I was doing this climb 3 times a week. I loved it. It was a 2-hour ride. Might be a bit longer today, but my normal ride was 2 hours, and I could get out and back before milking the goats in the morning. And of course, you're avoiding the heat of the day. But it's such a beautiful area, and as usual, no people, no cars. So it appears some apologies are in order. Apparently, my Kevin Costner impersonation was a little bit too much Barry Island rather than Rhode Island. Everything's in bloom. The rosemary, the gorse, the pistachia, even the little sedums and things seem to be coming out right now. It's lovely. Can't be dealing with these cars. Tiny little respite of a teeny downhill. I do like this little glade though. It's full of vines, and everything around it is gorse and pine trees, and there's this little oasis of wine, which really, if you're going to have an oasis, it might as well be a wine oasis. Just about to hit the toughest section of this climb. It goes up to 12%, which doesn't, I suppose, sound too bad, but when you're anything like my size, it's almost a death sentence. No. So we're just coming through a Coll. It's not the end of the climb. There's another 4.76 kilometers to go. But what you do get is you sort of broken through onto the shoulder of the mountain, and you get the most fantastic view down over to the left. And then you end up forgetting about the view again as you hit 12% again. I've got to be looking forwards, so you can do the looking backwards for me. So for 8 vital days during the war, El Molar, where the mine stroke field hospital was, and Little Garcia down on the river were very much the front line. And the last village we'll see today, La Torre d'Espanyol, was the first one to fall to Franco. And in between is this mountain, which we'll be going round in about 20 minutes. And that's what kept him out. This massif that you can see is one end of Ascent, which is the iconic mountain, flat-topped mountain, tabletop mountain that's in this part of the world. And this is the one that I'd planned to cycle around. Going a little off-piste here up to a hermitage, which I've never done not in a car. So I'm not going to film it because I'm going to be first gear, standing on the pedals, trying to go up. I think it's 25 or 33%, I'll let you know later, but we're here. So I'll see you at the top, fingers crossed. Walking again, that's too much. It's not registering how steep it is. I'm hoping some idiot has left it as a Strava segment so I can check. But that was horrible. Front wheel was lifting up off the ground, so I guess it was fairly steep. And then when I got up on the pedals, I was nervous about what would happen when I needed to stop. So I just gave a little bit of a boost and then unclipped and got off. Oh, lost a bit by foot, I think. I haven't got those sorts of bike skills. And from here, apparently you can see 7 provinces on a good day. We've got a bit of haze here today, haven't we? But let's see what comes out. That's our way down from up here. It's a fantastic descent. It'll be the first time that I've done it on the Orbea with the discs. So I don't know whether to go like an absolute loony because I've now got discs, or whether I should take it a bit easy on a new bike, or rather a new descent for that bike. I've got an idea which it's going to be. So for those 8 days, the Republicans were down there, then there was this ridge, mountain. Big mountain really, and Franco was down there. So it's onto their helmet cam for the horrible little, well, the descent of the Ascent I just came up on concrete, and then I'll leave you on because after that we've got that wonderful descent all the way down to La Torre d'Espanyol, which for a short time at least I was king of the mountain, or should it be king of the descent on. I don't know if I still am. I know I got beaten by a man in a car, but that doesn't really count, does it? past of the donkeys, because they used to use donkeys to drag the boats upriver because the water was moving so fast. This is also the part of the Pass Lassie where I normally see the ibex, the wild mountain goats. But it's a bit early in the day, but we might be lucky, you never know. No, it's a bit too early in the day. Too many cars too. Actually, they don't care. They're right on the verge normally. But anyway, I've managed to get to the end of the ride without falling off. At least not off my bike. I just fell over. That's something else. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it's a little bit shorter. I'm going to try a bit of judicious editing on this one. So hopefully it'll end up a bit shorter, a bit more watchable. No chance of that happening again because this was a short ride. So until the next epic, thanks for watching.